everybody, to another edition of the Harris Peak Podcast. I am your host, Chris, and with me today, I have two alumni of Arkham Asylum. Thank you guys for joining me. It's James and Mike. How you guys doing?
Arkham Asylum. That reminds me of my old Solar Patrol days up in that staff cage, Mike. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Hey, good to see you guys. You oooined it.
That's right. Please
What are we
put
doing
on your
here?
heaviest Jersey accent for the night. Thank you very much.
That's actually more Staten Island than Jersey.
Yeah, it's
In fact,
supposed to be more Brooklyn, but it's really
no,
Staten
it's more
Islandish.
Staten
Yeah.
Island. Yeah. If you know, you know.
Yep.
Tonight, we are reviewing The Penguin, the 8-episode HBO original series in the world of the 2022 Matt Reeves film, The Batman. This was developed and written, amongst other writers, of course, by Lauren LaFranc. And you guys might know her because she worked on a couple things you enjoyed. Number one, Chuck. I really love that one. And number two, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mmm.
Who are we talking about?
Lauren LaFranc.
Lauren LaFranc? Okay.
She developed and was the head writer for this series. So
Agents of
she's worked on
S.H.I.E.L.D. So underrated.
some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, good to see when people get, what's the word, promoted?
Yeah.
Promoted for their good stuff.
Promoted from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'd be more like, he survived the ending of that entire Marvel TV.
Well, she wasn't on all the seasons. I did not go through and sift through exactly what episodes she was the writer on. So
Gotcha. I gotcha.
But anyway, so this series starred Colin Farrell and the makeup and prosthetics department that created the Penguin. Man, Jesus.
Yeah, 3 hours every day in that chair. Well, every day he was on, on call, casting.
Pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen Milotti,
Mm-hmm.
Renzi Feliz, and Deidre O'Connell as Ma.
Oh, man.
Ma!
Chris, it's not a good sign when you're messing up even the white people names.
I'm sorry, I'll just call her Ma from now.
Ma! Hey, Ma, I got dinner.
I'm gonna help you out, Ma.
Let me go kill my brothers first.
Wow, that's some heavy duty mommy issues, man.
That was, man.
Ma, you look great. Let's go out and dance.
Yeah.
You know, something about this Penguin character, like, they really fuck up his parents. Every version is like, wow.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, right. I don't know if it gets worse than Batman Returns when they fucking just dumped his ass in the river.
That's right. Like,
the river? It was a sewer.
No, they were on the bridge. They threw him into the river first.
You're right.
And then he ended up in the sewer.
You're right.
And was it the penguins dragged him out, or the clowns? I don't remember exactly, but
dude, the look on their face when they looked at the baby in the crib.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny. I remember when I first learned that was Pee Wee Herman as his dad. I was like, what? All right. Anyway, so this is the story of how the Penguin went from a poor, Staten Island kid to controlling the Gotham underworld. Pretty simple overall, like, on a story level. It was solid. It was nice. It worked. They didn't fall for too many Batman Easter eggs. You know, it also enough twists to not just feel like reprising The Sopranos or whatever. What did you guys overall think of? Like, okay, let me step back before we get there. What were you expecting when you went into this? And then we'll get into what we felt about the story and the series overall. So some expectations here.
Mike, you go first.
All right, so let me be the first to say, well, I'm not going to be the first. Let me say, when it came to the Batman movie, it's not one of my favorites. I enjoy the movie, but it is what it is, right? It's standalone Batman movie, and I thought Pattinson did a decent job, and I liked, what's his face is Gordon. I thought Riddler was a little over the top for the Riddler.
The Watcher for Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh, my buddy, actually Kelly, who's a subscriber and been on a podcast before, is great friends with him in Brooklyn. Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey
Get
Wright.
him
Yep.
on, man. Get him on. What are you
Nice.
doing?
I've been trying since that, and I don't know. Kelly doesn't like to.
Oh
No,
man, I'd love to have Jeffrey Wright on right before the.
Somebody who's got a famous friend is like, nah, I don't really want to bother them about. I'm like, dude,
no, I
like,
get it.
what's the sense of having
But
that person as your friend?
it'd be great to have him on right before the
You can
Watcher
show me
season
pictures of
3.
him at
Yeah.
family parties. Like, you're comfortable enough.
Hey, I know these guys with a great podcast. You can have a fun time. You
Yeah.
too, Ben Stiller.
Uh, um. So off of that, with the Batman, and I thought Colin Farrell did a great job in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, we're gonna do another show without another Batman show without the Batman. Are we going the Sony route with the trying to make the bad guys look good
The spiderless
and
version.
spiderless? Yeah. So I wasn't sure about it, but well written, well acted, well produced.
Mm-hmm.
So they pulled it off. I didn't think they would be able to do it, but they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
was so worried. I was like, okay, sure, good, but really, the Penguin again? I feel like we just did the Penguin, but you know,
To be fair, Peacemaker was also better than I thought it would be.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Was James Gunn a producer on this?
I don't think so.
No, he wasn't.
Mhm.
Oh,
This predates him.
Yeah.
Well, let me not say the Penguin, but the Matt Reeves Batman predates James Gunn, annexed to head of DC creative, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Interesting.
So I don't see him as a producer anywhere.
No, I
Yeah.
don't see it either. Ah, that's interesting. So we still don't know what lies ahead for the DCU in reality.
Mm.
Even though
Yep.
this is technically alt world kind of thing because everything's going to come around to the Flash verse, whatever. Um, it's
And it kind
still
of sucks because
Well, I think James Gunn. It was. I'm not sure it was at Comic Con this year, but the word on the street was that anything that's still some, like for example, Joker 2, Joker, um, and this show and Matt Reeves Batman
mhm.
are considered part of their Elseworld or alt world, as you mentioned. Like
yeah,
it has nothing to do with the future DCU until Creature Commandos, and somehow they're gonna retcon Peacemaker season 1 and 2 into it. Some
yeah.
weird
Yeah.
shit. But this stands alone. The answer to your
Okay.
question.
Well, you know why they're doing that with Peacemaker is because his wife is in it, and she's like, "You're not cutting me out of this one."
Probably, actually.
But I was gonna
That-
say, it's kind of sad though because Matt Reeves is doing a decent job with Batman,
mhm.
and you already have a young Batman that you could bring into the Gun universe. You know, if you wanted to make it a part of
It's
that
tough.
story.
The tone is so like
The tone,
I can see this Batman going very supernatural. I'm not sure about this Batman next to like a real Superman. Like
but the thing is, if you kept it as so, one of the problems I had with the Snyderverse was Gotham and Metropolis being across the river for some reason.
well,
Like,
if you go back recently, you go back to the
Yeah,
way back to the comics they were, which is
they were.
weird. Yes.
yeah, which is weird. But I liked
You
some
think of the
versions where,
80s, where it's kind of like East and West Coast. The 80s,
yeah, but
yeah.
I kind of like the versions where Metropolis was like Chicago and Gotham was like New York, that kind of
Mhm.
distance. And you could have Reeves' Batman in his Gotham, this dark, gritty place, and you could have Metropolis more of this uplifting place with Superman. You know what I mean? And then they can clash a little bit. So I wouldn't mind seeing it, but obviously we're not going to get that. So
You mean like a Batman versus Superman?
no, they don't have to fight. You know, so
Sorry. All right,
they may
James.
have difference in how to get things done. I could see that for sure.
Been there, done that so many times.
Yeah.
Like, keep,
All right, James. What do you think?
um,
Where were you
I
going?
think I'm so far I'm in line with most of what Mike said. I did enjoy very much the Matt Reeves Batman. I'm not gonna say it's definitely not on the par of the Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah.
It's not on
No,
the
except
first
for the third
movie.
one. It's better than that one.
Oh my god, let's not rehash this argument. Get out of here with your whack takes, Chris. It's not as good as the first two Tim Burton Batman movies,
Yeah.
but you can kind of say after that, I think this movie probably is better than everything else we've gotten, including Batfleck. Um, but like Mike, I wasn't sure what I was gonna get. I was getting like shades of Gotham, the Fox TV show, where you have a show, Gotham is the main element, and some of the up and coming criminal, the villains rogue gallery and stuff like that, but without a Batman per se, right? Young
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne. So I wasn't sure it was going to be as good, despite the fact that I knew Colin Farrell was pretty well. Up until at San Diego Comic Con this year, I got to see the full trailer that wasn't yet released, plus an hour panel of everyone involved on the project, including Colin Farrell, who was zoomed in from his hotel room. Hilarious, by the way. We were able to see him trying to work technology in his hotel room and his laptop. But I say all that because I left that panel feeling a lot more reassured that we're getting something that's pretty good. Maybe not as good as it came out to be, but I thought, okay, this could work. This reminded me, and you've heard, and I think Mike said it, Sopranos a little bit from what they showed us inside of a DC comic book universe. And obviously, it blew my mind. I mean, the show was a lot better than I thought. I know we chat about it. Where does it rank this year? I think so far it's the best show I've watched on TV, with Rings of Power season 2 being right behind it.
Oof.
Um, yeah, Rings of Power is still the shit. Um, so yeah, I mean that's my take.
All right, let's get into the meat of the show here. So, like, I did want to point out the production value because, like James said, it one thing we can fall into is CW mode, and not that that's not a fine way to make a television series for what it is, but this
That's if you want to let you sit around with your kids and watch
right,
superheroes, right?
right,
Yeah.
this upped that level. It the look of the sets, the look of the costumes, the lighting, the camera work, the musical cues, the
Mm,
everything really elevated, and I think everybody I've seen online and has been surprised, shocked, because they were not expecting this. I was not expecting this. I was definitely expecting Gotham, like you guys had said, and the Colin Farrell bit in the Batman was good. It was funny. It was on point. We were surprised at the makeup,
Tantala.
but I thought they were gonna be more funny with it, and instead they went serious, and they pulled it off. It was really good. Um, what
Agreed,
did you guys think
agreed.
of like the music drops and stuff like that? Because I'm normally pretty tone deaf to a lot of that. You guys are more in tune with that. Anything that stuck out to you?
Score wise, I thought it carried over from the film pretty well. I didn't pay attention to the pop music they were playing in the clubs and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
No, I think maybe this is what Chris was getting at. The needle drops are made towards the intro or the outro with the credits.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fantastic. Quietly, another show which I don't think was as high in my ranking, Agatha All Along, did a very well job in doing
mhm.
the needle drops. Um,
Yeah.
but I think the score, man, you got to say something to her. I forgot the gentleman whose father also did the score composition for the Lost TV show. Mike, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Giacchino.
Giancarlo.
Yeah.
Yeah, his son was the one that composed both the Batman
Right.
movie and the show. Did a fantastic job, and I think it's just an HBO thing at this point. Like HBO's doing that better than Netflix or any other streaming service, where they somehow intertwine the music with certain scenes that
Hmm.
you go back and you rewatch a show or an episode, you hear that first tone or tune coming in. It kind of it gets you ready for what's about. That's an HBO thing. Game of, I mean, we can go back to
Oh yeah.
Sopranos, but yeah,
Right.
yep.
All right. Well, Mike already mentioned it. No Batman, so there wasn't anything at the end. We were all kind of wondering if we were gonna get like a.
We did get that one thing.
It was just like the spotlight in the sky. I thought we were at least gonna get someone running
I thought
along a
that was dope, by the
rooftop.
way, Mike. I thought that
Mm.
was dope.
They
Yeah.
were just gonna get like a stunt man running across a rooftop, or something
That would
like
have been
that.
whack.
We didn't even
No,
get
no.
anything.
Because going back to just to finish your topic about the music, like you see him at his apex for the show,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly, right? And she's telling him, "You're at the top now. There's nothing in your way." And then the music is reaching a crescendo, and your camera is panning out. And right at the timbre, the highest part of the
Mm-hmm.
crescendo, boom, the bat signal comes up.
Sort of like
That's
a glass ceiling for criminals in Gotham.
That's it.
emergency power off.
Yeah.
Shut down. But yeah, it worked well for me anyway with the music.
All right. So I already mentioned generally the story. I think for me, what really elevated anything of this was the performances. I mean, obviously we want to call out everything else we like I mentioned, but the performances were just shockingly good. And we'll start with Colin Farrell, number 1, right off the bat. And I was watching this and I expected, oh man, he's just going to own the screen. And he did. I don't think there was a single scene he was in where I thought he kind of pulled back too hard or gave up on got tired. Like that man was just on all the time. Like I can't even tell you what my favorite scene with him is because
Mm.
it was just constant constant and I don't want to call it is it perfect? It might be perfect. I don't know. Is it perfect?
Yeah,
We'll know during award season because
Yeah.
all
yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, I was saying like he should get an Emmy for this, and if he keeps, and if this stays into the sequel movie,
hmm
like he should get a supporting actor award if he can keep up that level. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting what Reeves chooses if if he is or if they're like, okay, he wants to take a break from this because is a lot. Maybe he ends up doing the third Batman to
yeah,
really give him a chance to, you know, rest a bit of this character and then come back to it. I mean,
yeah,
there is great makeup. You could replace him as an actor, but I can't imagine someone landing this role the same way.
no. I mean, and the thing is, with the prosthetics, he could play it for a long time, and it
hmm
wouldn't matter.
Yeah. James, did you have any parts that you thought where he elevated even more than he was regularly?
I think like you, it's tough to nail a specific scene. I mean, off the top of my head, many of the scenes that involved him with Christina Milioti, if I'm pronouncing her
hmm
name right, and also Victor, the character. The bottom line, I think most of the best scenes of the show had to do with him and another person, and not it's not a violent scene. It's not a comedic. Well, maybe it could be comedic, but their dialogue and the way they're going back, the banter, like him and Victor in the beginning, and him and Victor when Victor's telling him about his family, him and Victor at the club, him and Sophia when she's telling him about what she had to go through at Arkham, and him finally admitting to the fact that yeah, he was behind her getting sent to Arkham.
Yeah,
Him and his mom. It's like it's Colin Farrell and character X, Y, and Z or something, and to to the defense of those other actors, they stepped up.
hmm
Like definitely, Sophia's character stepped up in many great scenes, with him. Although she had some of her good scenes of her own, and when she was in Arkham, that flashback. But I thought her character really was at her peak when she had to go against Colin Farrell's Penguin and banter and discussions and arguments and debates, which gave the show a little more gravitas to just being like a gangster type of Batman joint. Um, there's other tertiary characters that you probably guys
Well,
won't
before we
remember.
get into those,
Yeah.
let's go right into Kristen Milotti. I think
Yes.
there's an extra I in there, so I think it's Miliotti or something to that extent. But whatever.
Probably. I think you're right.
But
Yeah.
it is Milioti.
when
Yes.
she
Milioti.
when she first appeared, I was literally in shock. I didn't think anybody. I was like, okay, so this is going to be the Colin Farrell show. He like that opening scene was fantastic, where he's telling the backstory of that small town gangster, and he gets laughed at and he shoots the guy. Love that scene. So anyway, that she walked in, and I was like, oh, this is where we're going, right? And then, like you said, probably for her, I can call out favorite scenes, and it is her in Arkham. That whole
I
episode
did say that. I
of
did
her
say that. Yeah.
background, and I think what made her great was she could go big, as you saw a couple of times in the Arkham episode, but
Yeah.
overall, her calm psycho demeanor, right? Really, like her eyes, you felt something was amiss going on in her head, but she was holding in it. I'm glad they didn't try for some Harley Quinn, right? Just, oh, we just want a big crazy lady. No,
Oh
she,
no, that whole scene where she gassed the family.
oh god,
That's
it
a
was
perfect
so
example.
good.
Yeah.
No, that was okay. I think I definitely agree with you, Mike, Chris, on the Arkham. I think that was probably the best scene that she didn't have with Colin Farrell.
Hmm.
The way they deconstructed her character from like an American prince, an Italian American princess who kind of knows what her family does, but doesn't quite,
Hmm.
want to admit that they're killers and criminals, and she's living the good life, going to trips to Milan and meeting boys on the beach, and then all of a sudden her entire world is shaken from her
Right.
mom's death and everything, and then now you're like, by the time you get to the point where she kills Mockingbird, another cameo and
Hmm.
a DC. You've seen her arc, and by the way, I think her arc. She's the only character that had a true arc in this particular season. Well, this show, because we're not getting to season two. And I love how they put her at the top, then they deconstructed her character, and then even on that third arc, her character's still growing.
Hmm.
She becomes Sophia Gigante by the end, but yet somehow she still gets trapped back into the life in the final episode. To me, that was probably the best character arc, was her character.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. Mike, was there anything you wanted specifically to call out for like a scene or?
No, I did want to go back to Penguin for a second
Hmm.
because I thought some of the best scenes with him were uh, when he was up against the Maronis
Oh yeah.
and like digging into them, not physically but verbally, like about their son dying and all that stuff. And then watching the guy have a heart attack in front of him and dying, and so
Yeah, I think the story did a great, and the writers did a great
I was
job
gonna say
of
that's more script
yeah,
than acting scene wise, but
of
yeah,
getting this character to not just be either a tough guy or b the perfect swindler. He's kind of this amalgam of, when he had to get physical, he got physical, you know, but he also swindled, but also got caught. Everybody knew who he was, but he still managed to kind of convince people of what he wanted them to do, what they had to do. Like, it was such a interesting character
yeah.
outside
And
of just the
there's
performance.
someone said this. I forgot a TikTok. His superpower wasn't that he was the greatest gift of gab, or that he was unbeatable Bane,
Hmm.
physical strength. It was more like he knew how to get out of shit at
Hmm.
the last minute.
And he
Like,
just needed like somebody. He needed one person to do a thing that he, and then he was able to turn that. He
yes.
almost got caught with the knife, and he jumped the bodyguard in. He jumped the one guy, but then he slipped the knife in the bodyguard. Like, he just needed something, and he always found that something to get out.
Agreed.
All right. I'll say for Renzi Feliz, who played Victor, I was surprised. I didn't think he'd stand up to what we saw from the other more powerhouse actors, but he really did hold his own, and he got to show out a little bit. The nightclub episode and the finale, that final scene, um, were great, and I think he really showed a lot of promise for a young actor.
Do you remember the Marvel short Runaways? That was on like I think at the time
Yeah, I never
ABC
finished it.
Family.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this, and I watched like
Honestly, I
a
never
couple
finished it
episodes, and
either.
I
I think
never
I only
finished it.
watched the first two seasons. I didn't watch the last season because it went to like from ABC Family to Hulu, whatever.
Yeah, they're all.
He was actually a pretty good actor on that show. Definitely look a lot younger than he did in this show.
Mm-hmm.
More believable as a teen. Um, and I happened to see him at Comic Con when he was getting asked certain questions and what did he like about working with the show. He was always talking about Colin, who was mentoring him, and the directors, and I could tell like he was going to be a pretty good standout just from seeing him talk about the show and the
Mm-hmm.
project, how invested he was. So I wasn't really shocked at his performances. I thought, by the way, as a person who grew up when I was young having a speech impediment, stuttering, dude, it was phenomenal to see because I know clearly the actor in real life doesn't have that speech impediment, but the way he portrays that, the few mannerisms and physical cues, other than one or two things that he could have done to really sell it. But to me, I already knew what it felt like, and I was watching with my son who knows the story when I was young. He's like, "This is giving you post traumatic stress, Dad." And I'm like, "No." By the time I was 15, I didn't have it in my system anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like that was something that was written into the script that he says, "Yeah, I can deliver this performance. I can make it look believable, and
Yeah.
not a caricature of somebody who has a stuttering problem."
Right.
Which awesome stuff there by him.
Mike,
Future Miles Morales, maybe.
is he big? Is he a tall kid? Like real big?
Yeah, he definitely looked taller than me. So,
That's not saying
Yeah.
much.
god damn, yo, shots fired.
And we're the same height. Like I don't like.
He's 5'10".
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
okay. So he's not like towering.
No.
Okay,
No,
that's not bad. Cause
he looked more like he was 6 feet. But again,
yeah,
this
I was worried like that they'll post, over the big bulky guy for Miles Morales, and that doesn't feel right. So
no,
Mm.
he's definitely he's not a bulky dude.
okay,
That's for sure.
all right. The the last specific performance that I wanted to call out was the Deidre O'Connell one, Ma,
Ma.
and she was great the whole time, but but that the opening scene of the final episode, was it the final episode where she's looking at the red light, and so she's seeing the past, and she's
Hmm.
kind of
That was the final
replaying it
episode.
through.
Yep, yep.
I love that scene so much. I was just so enthralled in that, and the way she played her character, and another character who had to play, something going on, something deep mental issues going on, and she was fantastic. It was great.
I loved her when she was way before that. When she had that one mental breakdown when it was her and Victor.
Oh yeah.
And she was confused. Then she starts giving her that entire scene to me. For a second, I forgot that I was watching the Penguin show. I was just
Mhm.
like watching like a regular adult drama about someone who's losing their mental faculties and this younger person trying to to
Yeah,
me that was excellent script
it
writing
was.
and excellent acting both
Oh
together
yeah.
Yeah.
at one scene.
Anything for that, Mike?
No, I did like the parts, not necessarily with the actress, but the character. I mean, the flashing back to when she was younger and seeing the whole backstory there about what happened to her.
Hmm.
So and then I thought they did a great job when James was talking about the red light and the flashback, and then at the end switching between the older and younger in the same
Oh, that
scene,
was
I
so
thought
good.
was really cool. Yeah.
So good. And that whole story setting up the finale,
Hmm.
that whole backstory is, I mean, is it obvious? No, yes, I don't know. I When I get involved in a show, when I'm enjoying it, when I'm into the story, I'm not necessarily trying to work out, oh, what are they going to do next? Like I didn't see it coming because I was just enjoying what I was watching, and I wasn't trying to figure it out. So I don't know if somebody else, if you guys were watching going, "Oh, I see what they're doing. They're going to kill, you know, what's his name?" So
Victor. No,
yeah.
I didn't see it then. I mean, the back of my mind was probably there,
Hmm.
but consciously I was like, no, I like what they're doing right now. Let's see how it develops.
And
By the way, we didn't talk about the younger version of Oswald Cobb as well. The
oh
actor
yeah,
was
good
really,
call out.
yeah. I mean, he didn't have that many as many
Scenes.
scenes as the Ma, but the scenes that he did have, the young actor actually, again, that Staten Island fucking dialect, he mastered. Like he's portraying a younger version of Colin Farrell, who's portraying a whole different caricature of a character.
Right.
So, and you guys know I am the anti-young actor
Yeah,
on this
absolutely.
podcast. Like I'm usually 9 out of 10. I cannot stand the young actor, but this is the first young actor I've watched, and I was really amazed by what they're able to perform, the performance on screen. Kudos to that young gentleman for giving us that version of the young penguin.
Yeah. Mike, was there another character actor, that really stuck out to you that you wanted to pop up? We can't call out all the great
Don't tell me
performances,
Juice from
but
Sons of Anarchy. He was the worst.
No, I'm looking through the cast list. Like nobody really, other than those, the ones we mentioned, stuck out. Right?
the one
Like
I
you could talk about Eve a bit, but she wasn't really that
mhm.
instrumental in the
the one
whole.
the one I liked was I did like Mark Strong. He was very small part, only a
Oh
scene or
right,
two,
yeah.
Yeah, he
but
took over for John Turturro.
I liked honestly, I liked him in that role better than John Turturro. Like I remember watching
Mm,
the Batman. I like John Turturro. He's a great actor. I
yeah.
remember watching the Batman going, I don't see him as a giant,
I have to fucking agree. I
you
didn't
know,
see him as a
the
threat.
the
I see where you're going, Chris.
I
I
was
have to
like,
fucking
he's not
agree.
running a drug empire. He's John
He
Turturro.
didn't seem
Like
that smart to me, mentally smart or physically strong.
Mm,
I
But
don't
Mark
know.
Strong, we've seen, even in that what was it, Kick Ass?
Hmm.
yes.
Like even in that parody superhero comedy, he seemed real menacing. Like this dude will kill you,
Oh
and
yeah.
Isn't
good.
Mark Strong in the new Dune show?
Yes, it is him.
Yes, that's him. He's the emperor.
Dune Prophecy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, Mark Strong, man. That's my other call out. All right. Um, it is kind of late. We're gonna go quick. So why don't we grade? If there's anything you want to call out, go ahead and do it. But other than that, it's a straight to the A pluses from me. A plus. It's easy. It's easy, man. I honestly am not looking at it. I can't find anything that I would grade against and knock away for the year. It's just great. That's up to you
James?
guys. What do you want
I
to?
feel like this is gonna be our first three of a kind. Yes, A plus for me as
Nope,
well.
not for me. But go ahead.
All right, so we got a pair and a low
C
card.
minus from
And
Mike.
I only have one reason that
Okay.
it's not going to get an. It's going to get an A. It's not going to get an A plus. The
Okay.
only reason was that we didn't get to see the Batman in it. That's all.
Ah, fuck out of here.
if
Well,
I get.
my
I
my
we
grade
had
is an
got to
A
see the
plus.
Batman in it, I would have been like, perfect.
No,
for a lot of the episodes, I'm like, this shit's happening in their
Yeah,
houses. It's behind
exactly.
the scenes. He's not going to show up. That's fine.
see,
But when they
see
blew
you
up the fucking street, I'm like,
Right,
where?
you
I need to see
exactly.
you
Batman.
guys are the same fans in Marvel MCU that are bitching about the fact that there's this big beam in the sky. Where the hell is Thor during Winter Soldier? Like, who cares?
No,
Put this on
I
the
can see the
show.
differences
Put the
there.
show. Oh, really? You can see difference
Yes, of
there.
course. But the man who's supposed to be fighting crime in his city, and you blew up a couple city blocks, and that man is nowhere to be found, is kind of fishy.
There was a crazy amount of explosions in New York
Okay,
before they went to
okay.
DC. Where
Forget
was Iron Man?
Batman. Forget Batman. The city had blown up again. Where the fuck was Commissioner Gordon?
Well, that's a different
All
conversation.
right
Yeah,
then.
that's true. I really
I don't
do
think we
think they
mentioned
were
the fact that
trying
this
to.
story took place 2 weeks after the end of the Batman movie.
Yes.
So I want to make sure.
How
So there's a
long did?
lot more shit that the commissioner, a lieutenant, actually wasn't commissioner yet. The lieutenant, the
Right.
commissioner did show a cameo of him, I think, in the finale, and the mayor elect.
How long did this show take in World? Was it only a couple weeks?
I think it was a couple of weeks
Because like they were
because
turning the.
2 weeks after this, Batman 2 is supposed to start
I guess it was hard because number one,
on
if I
Christmas
were
time.
to really spend time on it, I
Oz
did.
killed the brother.
Besides them not having the lights on and like sort of destruction in his neighborhood, like I
Yeah.
didn't see a lot of damage. Like if it was,
Crown Point, there was tons of damage.
well,
Do you
no,
not
Crown
see?
Point, but that was it.
Hmm.
Like the rest of Gotham seemed kind of fine.
That's like saying, oh, it's only Brooklyn that's damaged, but Manhattan, Bronx, Staten Island, and Queens, they're doing great.
For having the seawall taken down, I expected a bit
Yeah,
more.
So my assumption is going to be
only Chinatown and Brooklyn got damaged.
the more money you had, the nicer your neighborhood was going to look after 2
Yeah,
weeks.
Upper West Side,
Yeah.
not an issue. They're still having fundraising events.
Yeah.
There's no power in Brooklyn. No,
Mhm.
but real quick, from what I gathered, is that this show took place 2 weeks after the end of the movie, which was around right after Halloween, which is the
Mhm.
beginning, and that two
After
weeks
November
after the
6th.
end of November. Thank you. Or November 6th. Oh shit, crazy coincidence there. And then 2 weeks at the end of this show later on will be Batman 2, which is right before Christmas holidays.
Oh
So you
wow.
got November, December. So there
Wow.
was some time
Okay.
that's in this movie that
I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. I guess we should tell the people where to find us and
Yeah,
where they
as
can
usual.
interact with us.
So
Blue
as
Sky.
usual, we
You
do
can
have
join
one
Blue
change
Sky.
this week. We have one change this week. So as usual, we're all over the internet, Facebook, Blue Sky,
Blue
Instagram,
Sky.
TikTok, and YouTube. I don't think so. I don't think we're not officially off of X or Twitter,
No,
but
I go
we're
back
kind of
and
ghosting
check,
them.
but it is dropping users, especially active users and
Yeah.
big accounts. It is bleeding.
I'm still there, guys, on my personal account. You can follow me
That's right.
there. Hit me up with
Um,
your centrist right comments.
So
no.
listen, if you're on Twitter, come on over to Blue Sky. We're there.
Mhm.
We'll chat about comics. We'll chat about Penguin.
And
Whatever you want to chat
seriously,
about.
at Heroes Peak, look us up. I post daily. I'll interact with you. Hit me with some positivity or
But
some
before you do all that, ladies and gentlemen,
reasonable negativity.
before all that, ladies and gentlemen, leave a comment on this particular
Oh yeah,
YouTube
on
video.
YouTube.
Yes.
Leave it right here.
Please.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and
Let's start with
hit the
that.
bell to get
No,
notifications.
we're getting views, but we're not getting enough thumbs up or any comments.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
Like
I
I
want
saw
to see
already
some
like 200
interaction.
views for a
Yeah,
video we dropped a couple days ago, which is great, but not a single freaking comment or a thumbs up. Well, we had 6 thumbs up. My bad. Out of
people
200.
watching it in silence, like, okay, it's done. Next.
I feel like bots are watching us now at this point. But go ahead.
That's all right.
And we're not going to talk about the Tyson fight, right? So,
No, that'd be another podcast
The
with myself and
the
Keith and how
slap
we
fight.
wasted.
oh,
We
you,
wasted
yeah,
three
send me an
hundred
invite for
fucking
that one.
dollars.
I'll come on.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right, everybody. I thank you for joining us on this wonderful night. We had a great time, and please join us again. I'm gonna try to get around. I got a Arcane. The final episodes are coming out.
Hmm.
Is it only 9 episodes?
It's only 9 episodes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
three
How many so
releases.
far?
There's 6 out.
So
Wow.
it'll come out Saturday. So
Okay.
I will
Dang.
be posting incessantly about it, and I'm gonna try to get an interview again. But if nothing else, I'll at least give you a review, and I'll just sit there and go, wow.
You're doing the Lord's work, Chris.
No, I'll join you for that. I'll watch it too. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
because I really liked the first season. So,
That's all right,
Um,
I
James.
did too. It's just
yeah. So if you watch it, James, we'll do a review, right?
fine,
Right.
fine. Yeah.
And then you and I will do Cobra Kai sometime soon.
Right.
Oh yeah, that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that movie I'm supposed to watch, Mike? What's the weird one?
The Raid 1 and 2.
No. The weird one that just came out. The right, the
The what?
where he like creates his own city and shit. What?
Oh, Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
Right. Yes, you
Yeah.
guys need to watch that. I saw that last weekend.
Was it 3 hours, dude? I don't know.
It's like two. It's like two and a half tops, but It is nuts. It is fucking nuts. You gotta watch it.
Have-
All right.
Oh shit!
I'll
I'm watching Gladiator
I'll
2
come
this
around.
Friday, so
Ooh.
be on the lookout for that instant reaction in the theater.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Thanks for talking with me. You have a great week. We'll see you soon.
Good night.
Night.
Later.
Hey, Indigo made the beat.